He's been talking about that for what, like the 6 to 8 months?
Yeah. So her wedding finally happened, and she had a great time. And well, she's missed right now, but I'm very happy that she's taking time off.
Yeah, I'm sure if well deserved. I'm sure.
Hmm.
Well, you guys scored another great gala earlier this month, or actually last month now since
Right.
it's May.
I can't believe it's May, but yes, April was a whirlwind, and I can't believe it's almost 2, 3 weeks ago. But yeah, our gala was phenomenal. Second time around, it was beautiful, a great time. All the people that supported us, volunteers, people who bought tickets, attendees, supporters. It was just a great time. Some of my favorite moments was, of course, the food, as we've been talking
Yes,
about.
yeah, it was from all different corners of the earth, basically.
Yeah, I talked to so many people that said that they're there to support, but they're also there for their food,
Yeah.
and they were not disappointed. A highlight of the night is we talked a little bit more about our funding challenges and shared a video of our early childhood program and the importance. And afterwards, we had our guest interview a family member, a parent named Cece, and she just poured her heart out and shared with us how Neighborhood Centers has been like a family for her, especially for her two oldest kids who basically grew up in the program. Her daughter was in the baby room and has been in every program and is now about to be in high school, and her son is about to graduate, and how he has been in every single program. They left and had to come back to Iowa because they needed the support like Neighborhood Centers, and it was amazing to just hear her story.
Well, the early childhood programs, studies almost universally say this is such an important developmental time for kids. And, back in the day, daycares were just, basically babysitting. You give them toys to play with and stuff. But it's a little bit more with you guys, and most of the daycare centers now. But they try to interweave a little education and social interaction skills and things like that.
Yeah, I love that you bring it up. We actively try to not say daycare because we are early childhood
Correct.
education.
Yeah, it's
And we have certified teachers and teaching assistants. Actually, right now we're working on some criteria for the IQ4K, which is the quality rating system. We just last fall completed another round of our NACE accreditation, which, if you don't know, is the National Association for the Education of the Young Child. And it's just so important that we have these quality rating systems to support how quality our programs are. Our programs, as you said, it's not just daycare. We're not just corralling kids. We are teaching every single
I like
child.
the way you describe that, corralling kids.
Which, I mean, there's a place and time for that.
Sure.
But we want to make sure that our kids, especially birth to 3 years old, is the most important time for a child to be learning. And if you come to our infant classrooms or 2-year-old classrooms or 3 and 4-year-old classrooms, you'll see that they are learning and getting an education. And they're, as many people in this community, especially teachers, they are well above other kids that are making their way into kindergarten because they have our education standards.
Yeah, and I remember as a kid, being real curious and learning stuff before kindergarten. I learned to read at an early age, and
That's
it just,
awesome.
boy, it's such an advantage that you have.
Absolutely. It's so important. And as when Bay is here, one of her favorite things to talk about is just like the kids learning routines and learning how to be self-sufficient and self-manage. For instance, every day the kids are serving themselves for lunch. And of course it's age appropriate, but they sit in, what do you call it, family style?
Yeah.
And they're passing the food along. And as she said, I think that one parent volunteer said, can I bring my kid here to learn how to do the same thing?
Yeah, because you tend to get a little selfish in the family dynamic, but when you're working in a social situation with other people's kids and so forth, you learn how to get along and not be not make waves or cause conflict and stuff like that, because and it happens eventually or invariably. Sometimes kids, they get in conflict, but you guys, I'm sure, are good at showing how to solve those conflicts.
Absolutely. And another thing I want to mention is while we are education focused, it's still quality care so that parents, all of our parents are working so that they can feel safe enough to allow their child to be in a space away from them while they're doing the work days.
Correct.
And it's so important for the families that we serve that they are able to have this space that they can just go and be carefree at work and do what they need to do to provide for their family.
Right. And legislators are pushing, a lot of legislators are pushing for funding for preschool like they do for K through 12.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see that there is this nationwide push to make sure that preschool is taken care of. But we, as I've been saying, are focused on from birth to 5 and making sure that all of those have access. And we're one of the best, if we like to say the best in the state in all of our degrees, not degrees, all of our areas.
Sure.
And as I was mentioning earlier, we are facing federal funding cuts because...
Well, like all the nonprofits.
Like all the nonprofits of here. And it's for us, it's going to affect our early childhood program. And that's to the amount of $650,000 that we'll be losing from our annual budget.
Oh my.
Year. Yeah, so
that's a big chunk.
It is a big chunk. We are still working very hard to make sure that we are able to serve all of our families, make sure there's not going to be any interruptions for the families. But as most nonprofits, it's looking at like program shortages or staff layoffs or cuts and things like that. So we're really hoping that our families and our supporters and our community will continue to rally around all nonprofits, especially us, as we navigate this time.
Didn't the county provide a little bit of funding? Don't they normally provide a little bit of funding for you?
Yeah, the county and the city government and a lot of organizations provide a lot of amazing funding. The funding that we are losing is
from the Fed.
It's federal through state.
Yeah.
And so it's a different thing, and that we've had for over 20 years. This funding allows us to make sure that families who don't qualify for child care assistance or do have like cushions so that we can provide full day year-round care, because we know that full day is the most important for kids. It's proven to be the most efficient and help them in their education versus having maybe half day or a few days of the week. So
yeah, can you scoot that? There you go.
Is it better this way?
Yeah, just straight on. It sounds a little better.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's just I can't imagine those tough decisions that you guys have to make.
Yeah.
And all the nonprofits are dealing with this. And it's one thing for the bean cutters in Washington to just go, we need to cut 25% or we need to cut this altogether. But to see the consequences of that, sitting here talking to you, Chastity, about this, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is heartbreaking and it's hard, but I mean, Iowa City is a resilient community, so
that's for sure.
Very resilient, and I do believe that we, as we rally together, we're gonna do amazing things together. And speaking of that, next Wednesday, I believe, is Great Give Day for Johnson County. I think it's the third year, and we are participating alongside other nonprofits. So if you're listening and you want to learn how to, give back to our organization, that's a great time to help us out in that way. So if you want to go online, I believe it's johnsoncountyGreatGiveDay.com. It's through the Community Foundation of Johnson County.
Let's see here. Let's just look it up before you leave so we can be real positively about this Give Day 2025. Yeah, greatgiveday.org. And you said the Johnson County.
GreatGiveDay.org.
Yeah, it's Johnson County GreatGiveDay.org.
And you'll be able to search whatever organization that you're interested in giving to. We hope that you find neighborhood centers on that list.
And that's May 7th, which is
May 7th, next Wednesday.
This next Wednesday. And you can always donate directly to you. What's your website again?
It's www.ncjc.org, and you can learn more about our early childhood program funding issues right now at the same URL, ncjc.org/giveearly.
And over 50 years you guys have been in business and helping out the people of Johnson County in tons of different ways, shapes, and forms. And it's so important to keep this organization afloat. And and thriving the way you have been.
Yeah, and again, we're just so grateful for everyone in the community that supports neighborhood centers who, whether it's volunteering, spreading the word, donating, or just letting people know about, like you're saying, how amazing we've been over the last 50 plus years. We're just so thankful.
Yeah, and you can always volunteer as well. I mean,
Yes.
they'll train you and put you in the right spot for your talents, and a lot of different things you can do to help.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously I don't have my sidekick, Bea, here to really run down all of the volunteer opportunities, but we do, we are looking for volunteers, especially in our early childhood programs. We're looking for people that would like to help with grant research. We're looking for all kinds of volunteer opportunities. So if you want to reach out to me or go onto our website, again, ncjc.org, and look at our volunteer opportunities, or even go onto our social media where we'll be posting that on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Each one is going to be at NCJC Iowa. That's a great way to find out more.
Okay.
Listen, you did fine without your site.
What'd you say?
Did fine without
fine.
Bea.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Well, thanks for coming in, and keep them in mind, especially next Wednesday for Great Give Day.
Yes. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Iowa City's local radio station, Iowa City's 1630.